Yeah, really.
All right, call to order. Roll call.
Mayor Carroll,
Here.
Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez, Chairman Landers,
Here.
Commissioner McGee,
Here.
Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
Councilmember Blevins,
Here.
Commissioner Whitehorse.
Here.
You do have a quorum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 members present, 2 absent.
All right. Approval of the agenda.
If we could add one item, that would be the, of course, that's not in there. It's to add item C to the staff report, which is the updating of some legislation related to vested rights, please.
Okay.
Motion to approve as amended by Tom.
Second.
Okay. Motion made, second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the meeting minutes from June 26, 2025. Everybody looked those over? Satisfied with them?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This time we'll have any constituent comments.
Don't have anybody signed up.
All right. Being there are none, we'll move right on into old business. Site plan, US, I'm saying it's supposed to be 230 now.
Yes, it is.
231 North and Harts Chapel Road, tax map 59, partial 14. Jamie Brewer of MTSU Campus Planning Representative, City of Shelbyville property owner. Middle Tennessee State University is requesting approval from the Plan Commission for a 61,810 square foot building, and it's multiple buildings for academic and flight operations on approximately plus or minus 20.8 acres. It's zone I-1, light industrial. This application referred to staff review for grading for the April 24th meeting to allow time for rezoning and subject to the partial from C2 to I1. Take it away.
Okay. We can see on the monitor the location of the parcel, which is 14. Down all the things I have here. This is the airport, and it's just west of it. MTSU is the developers of that site, and City of Shelbyville is the property owner. So the buildings that are on the agenda for Town 52,008, this is phase 1, I should say. So we've got the Flight Operations Center as well as the maintenance hangar. This is the area that we're developing, or that is being developed. Currently, there is a vacant residential building that's going to be demolished, and there's a number of accessory buildings on the site that will all be demolished as part of this development. The rezoning to I-1 takes effect tomorrow. So it is for this commission at this time, and staff recommends the approval. It meets all the development standards for the I-1 zone district, as well as the design guidelines for the architectural, landscaping, parking. The traffic study was accepted by the city. There is a signal that is required at the entrance of, which I can go to, at the entrance of the building. So this is the development phase of it. Here's the hangar and the operations center, parking area. But
that won't go in immediately. It will go in.
It'll run concurrently with the build out.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go in, right when they start construction. There's no other improvements required for this, like left turn lanes or right turns. Only that signal. There's a little bit of signage that's required on it, which is some of the advanced signage. There's a signal operate or a new signal there. But in essence, this is a pretty straightforward, or I think we've had an opportunity to see all the, review it in depth. It meets all the bulk standards, site statistics, green area, it's all compliant with the zone district. You can see landscaping here that they're proposing, conforms with the design standards. This is what it's gonna look like from from 231 north. And got the lovely aircraft maintenance. I think we'll go to that one. And then I'll entertain any questions on this.
Just back to Bo's question, real quick. When in the, because this, a lot of people ask this question, that traffic signal, are we talking like right at the tail end of when the building is built? I mean, are we talking a year from now, 2 years, 6 months?
Yeah, the way that it is written in the traffic study is that it is at build out. So it'll run concurrently with phase one. And then as phase one is completed, and you're here with,
Yes, where they are.
do you know at what point, I guess when it'll be actually be installed?
I would expect on occupancy.
Okay.
And this is like about you talking like 2 year project? 2 year, okay.
Yeah, I don't, I couldn't remember if in the TIS what time frame it was saying, what it was gonna actually be.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just don't remember off the top of my head when that.
But we can safely assume that build out means at
Phase one build out.
at the end of the phase one build out.
Yes.
Which will enact that traffic signal. It wouldn't be the start of phase two that would enact it. Would
No,
be the end.
no, it'll run concurrently
Right.
with, as phase one is being developed out by the time phase one is. And then when they take occupancy.
Clears it up.
And then any news on the wetlands issue? It's still, are we still on hold waiting to get back to TO?
But yeah, it's still being reviewed. It's in process.
Okay. Anything else?
Let me go back to, I don't think there were any procedural notifications on it. There's some post procedural notifications that are general comments about obtaining permits, things like that. But basically, it meets all the design standards, and so there are no conditions on this project, on part of the approval.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Commissioner Lahoj,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Chairman Landers.
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Carroll.
Yes.
All right, moving into new business. Major subdivision final plat, Stonegate Phase 3, tax map 100, parcel 37.02. St. John Engineering, Representative Lee Adcock, property owner. This request is for approval from the planning commission for a final plat of 4 residential lot subdivision, 1.64 acres, zone R2, medium low density residential, Nolan, Dolan, Nexus for dedication of right of way.
So, let's see, this is off of Stonegate Circle on Providence Road. South Cannon is off to the east. This basically is at the final plat level, and I always look, the required nexus for any type of public right of way that's being dedicated. This is a concept plan. Everything is consistent throughout between concept plan, approved preliminary plat from 2024, and then up to the final plat. We do have the as-built, and they have been, I believe they've been approved. Last email that I received in May, the as-built have been approved. So in this particular one, staff is just recommending the approval of this application for the 4 single-family lot. And as stated earlier, there's a 50-foot public right-of-way. This is actually an extension of Stepping Stone Drive. Both of them are meet the required or the substantial nexus. And I think in one of my comments, I had written in there about condition for labeling a right-of-way or an easement, I should say, and, because it wasn't clear when I reviewed the plans of what type of easement. But I talked to Jim earlier, and actually it is labeled as a gas easement. It just looked pretty large for a gas easement, but that is what it is. You can see it as it comes through here. So there are no procedural, no, this has been, it meets all of our standards and requirements. Everything is consistent across each of the plans from preliminary plat, concept level, and final plat. So we're requesting the planning commission approve this with no conditions.
Make a motion that we approve with no conditions as presented.
Motion made, second, roll call.
Mayor Carroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill,
Yes.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins.
All right, here's a couple of them, this is before, so here we go again. Major subdivision variance of vested rights for phase 3, McDale Point subdivision, formerly New Haven subdivision. 24 single-family lots on McDale Lane, tax map 69, partial 5.08. St. John Engineering, representing Gary Boyce, Construction LLC owner, is requesting extension of vested rights in accordance with the Shelbyville Municipal Subdivision Regulations, Article 2, Section 2-13 for Phase 3, 24 single-family lots, a portion of partial totaling 6 acres, zone R3, medium density residential. Vested rights expire for this phase July 29, 2025, from May 22nd of 2025. Planning Commission meeting, all phases are impacted by the expiration of vested rights for phase 1.
Okay, so in my staff report and in my presentation, I've combined the two applications for the variance, but the vote will be for individually for each one. It's just easier to review this cohesively.
Do these need to be read? Will they need to read them or is that?
Yes, the vote will be individual, so
Okay,
right now 3 and then next time 4.
got you.
But I'll just speak on it. And I also, in the packet, I included 1 and 2 that we reviewed back in May. You can see this is 135 McDale Lane. Oh, that's the wrong picture. Okay, sorry about that. That's the last picture. Okay, yeah, that's the wrong picture. It's off of McDale Lane. I know this information is correct. This was approved, initially it was approved in 2019. There was a extension and an amendment in 2022. Both 3 and 4 were brought in July of 2022, and they are expected to, the vested rights are expected to expire in next, probably in a few days, 3 days. 5 days, I should say, July 29th. It's a 56.99 acre. The development is actually on a portion of, this portion here is the only ones that are in discussion. 1 and 2, we reviewed back in May. Phase 1 has expired. Phase 2, at the last meeting, was approved for extension to December 1 of this year. Phases 5 through 8 had expired last year.
For this
or the year
meeting,
before.
we're discussing the blue.
The blue, yes, that's correct. So as you can see, phase 3 and 4, talking about 5.95 acres in 3, which is 24 lots. And then in phase 4, which is 7.23 acres, and there's 12, and there's a couple of common areas that, from the notational in there, they look like they're actually for all drainage as part of that common area. Because of phase 1 expiring and This is the only access. It impacts every one of these. Phase 4 actually has the infrastructure that is critical to phase 1. So when I was reviewing these ones, you can see in totality how many dwelling units, I believe it's, or how many lots, I should say. There were 90-some lots total. 3 critical features for, this is just more discussion about what we actually have right now in our subregs. Is we want to limit direct access onto a roadway depending on the functional classification as well as exposure to crash risk. We have 5% open space and then the requirement for internal connectivity for pedestrian vehicular access. So both of these, both of these phases, they don't have the connection to, towards 231. They have connection to the adjacent parcel that you can see here. There are sub-ins that are proposed for this area, but there's nothing over on this side. And you see that there's no 5% common space is not provided for open space. This was prior to the adoption of our updated subdivision regulations, which is why you see that they're not meeting the current ordinance. So if it was designed under today's ordinance, that 5% would translate to 2.85 acres of required open space. I put these in to show, mostly because if I go to what we're asking for, or what I'm asking of the commission, is that, rather than looking at it from the optimum, because I'm always going to advocate for the most satisfactory, phase 4, because it has the critical infrastructure, the developer did ask if they could have a little bit more time for if any extension were provided. And so because that one does have the infrastructure and as far as any other things that staff supports, we don't have an issue with extending that to, if permitted, to May of 2026. Phase 3 is the one that is actually or I should say it's problematic. Phase 2 and 3 are the only ones that allow for any type of connection to the west. And since phase 2 has already been approved for their vested rights, and what that means is that they can design it as is, keep the design. Phase 3 is the only one that may be possible to have a connection. You can probably do it in phase 4, but I thought that was the easier one. So in that one, staff is requesting to support planning commission for staff's requirement of adding that connection by denying phase 3's vested rights, if that makes sense. So this one, this seems like it's the easier, these two are the easier ones that connect to the west. So since that's already been approved, we're requesting that the planning commission deny this vested rights, and then if possible, give them a little bit more time on that one. No matter what, there's going to be a redesign of the entire subdivision.
Yeah, so everything on that map to the right, all that yellow is dead.
This is all gone.
Phase 1 is dead.
Phase 1 is dead.
For some reason, I still don't understand, we approved phase 2 that one time last time. Why are we trying to squeeze phase 4 out? I mean, this project should have been.
And that's solely up to, that is solely up to the commission to decide on
I
that.
think that you've really validated the importance of providing that vehicular connection. I believe that you've reiterated that over and over, and that is not what we have with what they're asking to be, extended on.
It is important to staff that we have that internal connection.
That means a lot.
For future, you can see it right here, for future traffic flow through here.
I think that means a lot to this commission. That point in particular, not to mention the points that have been brought up.
Yeah, so if you look at, so Hoover Court was 1950, I have more examples, but these are just from 1950, Forest Hills from 1960. You can see there's very little open space that's been, well, actually no open space provided for. But one thing that it does provide for is that interconnectivity. And so that's why, and plus we already know, you know very well what happens when there's no connection internally. But right now, it's basically on phase 3 with this particular focus on it.
Okay.
And if there's any questions,
This is for phase 3 and staff recommends a denial.
I'll make a motion, that recommendation, it's a denial from this commission of this extension. Recommended denial. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Motion made, seconded, roll call. If you vote for denial, you vote yes.
Correct. Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilboyd,
Yes.
Mayor Carroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill,
Yes.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins.
Yes.
So the variance on that one was denied.
Okay. Major subdivision variance of vested rights for phase 4, Dale Point subdivision, formerly a New Haven subdivision, 12 single-family lots on McDale Lane, tax map 69, parcel 5.08. St. John Engineering, representing Gary Boyce Construction LLC, owner, is requesting extension of vested rights in accordance with Shelbyville Municipal Subdivision Regulations, Article 2, Section 2-13, for phase 4, 12 single-family lots on parcel totaling 7.23 acres, zoned R3, medium density residential. Vested rights expire for this phase July 29, 2025, from May 22nd, 25 Planning Commission meeting. All phases are impacted by the expiration of vested rights for phase 1.
so let me just go to what's being requested here. Staff is just, we don't have an issue with extension of the vested rights, and what the developer has asked for is still May because of the infrastructure at that point. No matter what, there's going to be comprehensive redesign of the subdivision. I don't know if they can plug in the ones that they have as extension, the number 2 right now. And if this one is approved, number 4, I don't know how much of the design is going to be impacted from both of those until we actually have it in a drawing format.
Okay. Any questions?
I will make a motion to deny this request.
I'll second that.
Motion made, seconded to deny. If you vote yes again, you're voting to deny.
Denied based on staff's finding and recommendation presented tonight.
All right. Roll call.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit,
Yes.
Mayor Carroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill.
Yes.
So that variance is denied, the extension.
All right. Moving into staff report administrative approvals. We've got a lot combination, Bedco Investment LLC, West Depot Street and South Spring Street. Tax map 89H, Group H, Partial 11, Partial Zone C1, Central Business Zone District. And also, Growth Committee scheduled for next phase of the planned improvements. So, take it away.
Okay, so this is the Grindstone Cowboy project, and what we had is a lot combination of these two parcels here. This is 11, this is 12. Here's West Depot Street and Spring Street. The combination was necessary because they're combining their utilities onto one lot. So that one, it's, the approval is pending because there's a couple of comments that they need to address, but it's administrative level approval for that project. So yes, this is what the combination looks like. So you'll have one lot, and then you'll have all three buildings on that lot. And if there's any questions on that one, I will go on to the growth committee schedule. I have it laid out for the next year with a break between June and August, and then December as well. I'll send out the calendar invites, and I've got some of the items, the topics already inputted for, let's see, so we're looking at September is the next one, zoning ordinance updates. And these topics could change, I mean, because I may be able to fit other enhancements within the code. November is when we're gonna start on the overlay, and then the project that I wanted to work on was the access management. And then the signage is gonna take, that's gonna be a big one. And then I did put in, I basically, this handout, and it's also within your package, is a major grouping of all the activities of planned improvements or clarifications within the code. This, oh, I forgot, I don't have it on the screen there. Basically, all the activities are grouping of activities because sometimes they might affect other zoning ordinance or subdivision regulations or comprehensive plan. And so I'll have to coordinate all those aspects of it. But this is not necessarily in a priority list because some things can be done. Because I'll have to just be considerate of council's schedule, because I know, you don't want a whole batch of ordinances in there. And Lisa would kill me with the late meetings. So I've captured everything from all the different plans, from corridor studies, comprehensive plan, as well as the Greenway master plan, into this list, because there's a lot of overlap between all of the plans and studies. And what I have on my other sheet that I'm working on is actually a project timeline for each of the different projects that'll have a little bit more detail in there, as well as a schedule of when they will be coming before Planning Commission as well as City Council. And if you feel free to help me add more things if you have any issues.
Okay. I see the parking on like Dos Brothers, where we've got some of these strip malls and we don't have enough parking and things like that.
Yes.
Are we looking in this committee at residential parking on any new developments on, we've got garages that are not being used as garages, and we've got cars out in the street and all that kind of stuff. Are we looking at that at all?
Yes, and that's going to be under the parking standards that we're updating. Because one of where it came about first, I guess when the conflict kind of peered out, was when there was a change in use from a building that was more intense use, and there was no adequate parking for it. But the way that our code reads is that the minimum that you need is 21. So it's 21 for any building above 2,000, I think 2,400 square feet. But then that applies to everything. And so there was no way to enforce something like Dos Bros, because really to have 4, or how many restaurants they have in there? 3? 1,
Yeah,
2, 3. Yeah, 3 of them is probably, well, it's too much.
He's paved a part behind the coffee shop now for some relief there, I believe, but yeah, it's definitely a problem.
Yes.
Needs to be addressed.
And at the time, it met our minimum standard.
Yeah, no, I think
And that's where the problem comes in.
can't fault.
Because whenever we look at site plans, we always look at for the highest and best use. And if there were 4 tenants in there, you know, the logical I guess the rational way to look at it is that you would have 4 restaurants. And, you know, so,
Instead of what maybe it was thought of, it was just gonna have one and then the rest, maybe, who knows?
yeah.
But it
yes,
does suffer from that.
Yes.
So
And,
these spaces are rented,
yes,
that's a rented space.
yes, there's 4
So if
tenant spaces.
they're hurting for parking, does the owner of the property have any more property that it can expand for parking?
He's working on another idea to do
Okay.
that, yes.
Yeah, another owner, similar, yeah.
Yes, and so we also are putting in a lot more details within the parking standards, for different types of uses, so.
Yeah, the way we're growing, you know, is we have to get used to these different, you know, standards of growth and adjust accordingly. So we're growing and we're learning, but we've got to catch these things up front. And now that's our job here, so. But thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
All right.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot the number C.
Yes, you added a number C.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there's been a legislative change related to vested rights. It was put into effect by the state on July 1. And the handout that I have, I highlighted the portion that is related to municipalities, but it's the same language for counties at the top and for municipalities on the bottom. And I think the only thing that, and I'll work with Ginger on this, because one of the things I wanted to do that is on our task list to actually codify the process in our zoning ordinance, as well as identify what are the vested rights for different types of projects, whether it's a subdivision, which we already, or I guess it refers to MTASs. Or I guess the subregs actually refers to the state regulations for how long you have for the vested rights. And then, but site plan we have actually a stricter standard than the states. But I was thinking about actually just making both subdivision and site plans 3 years according to this new law.
What is ours currently?
For site plan, I think it's 2 years. Yeah, so to make it 3 years, just be consistent on both sides of it. And the other thing that what I'll have to just work with Ginger on is the change that is in the regulations has to do with how the project flows, because their definition of vesting period, so you have 3 years, but you also have to give right of appeal within that. The on section 4, it talks about the process of the appeal, and it mentions Board of Zoning Appeals.
Right.
And one of the reasons why we did the variance for this particular, for McDale Point to the Planning Commission is because the subdivision regulations actually falls under the authority of the Planning Commission. And so if the process is to go to Board of Zoning Appeals, as another layer, we'll need to put in how that process goes through. Because Board of Zoning Appeals, what they look at are zoning ordinance items, not necessarily subdivision regulations. So my thought was, and this is where I'll have to work with Ginger on, is that maybe on variances of vested rights, it would be referred to the Planning Commission first to review it, to provide a recommendation after a study period to the Board of Zoning Appeals. That might be how it works, but I don't know the way that it is written. That's what it sounds like. They're actually sending it up to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Okay. All right. Anything else? If not, we'll stand adjourned. All right. I think I got those. There we go.